Hello everybody, welcome back to RobScure Music. This is my first video for 2024, so although it's January 6th, Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you had very nice holidays, and I wish you all a healthy, happy, and prosperous New Year in 2024. So, in today's video, I want to talk about a group that I'm sure many of you are familiar with, and that is The Association. The Association is an American pop rock band that had 5 top 10 hits in the late 60s, and I'll bet you can name 4 of them. Anyway, they're best known for their vocal harmonies. They had a number of personnel changes throughout their history, with people coming in and out at different times. They'd be in the band, then they'd be out, then they'd rejoin. Anyway, they had hits like, I'm sure you know, Along Comes Mary, which at the time was a little bit of a controversy because Mary back in 66 and to this day, I guess, is still sort of street slang for marijuana. So, there was some discussion, but I mean, look at these guys. Do they look like marijuana users? Although there is sort of a dreamlike, hypnotic sort of quality to this cover. But that aside, Along Comes Mary was their first hit. They followed that up with, I think it was Cherish. And Cherish actually got to number 1. That was their first number 1 hit. They then had Windy and Never My Love. So those are, I'm sure, the 4 that you can name right away. And their first album, this is, in fact, is their first album, and then Along Comes the Association, includes, and I'll show you here, it includes the hits Cherish and Along Comes Mary. So they released this in July of 66, and as I said, there were 2 hits off of this. There are a number of, like I said, personal changes, but I think the best known lineup of the band included founding member Terry Kirkman, who did vocals and woodwind instruments. And Terry actually, prior to forming the Association, he actually played with Frank Zappa before Frank Zappa formed the Mothers of Invention. A little tidbit for you there, and I'll have a couple of those during this. Also, it was Kirkman's then fiance who came up with the name The Association for the band. Also, you had the other founding member was Jules Gary Alexander, and he credits, I think he's credited as Gary Alexander. He uses his middle name for the first 2 or 3 albums. And he is also on vocals, and actually, like almost all of their members actually sang. So again, that kind of gives you the vocal harmony that they're really known for. But Gary Alexander also was on lead and rhythm guitars, and he would briefly leave the band, and they would have Larry, what's his name, Ramos? He's the Filipino member that you might be familiar with from some of their videos. He came in and obviously was on guitar, but he also plays the banjo and the ukulele, and vocals, obviously. They had Jim Yester on vocals, also played lead and rhythm guitar. Jim, by the way, is the brother of Jerry Yester, who was a member of the Loving Spoonful. And Brian Cole was on bass guitar. He also provided vocals. And their drummer, Ted Bluchel, was also a singer. So It has great vocal lineup. And getting back to Larry for a moment, he was actually the first Asian American to win a Grammy Award. And he won that prior to joining the association. He was with the New Christie Minstrels, and they won, I think it was Best Performance by a Chorus for their first album. And their first album included their cover of the Woody Guthrie song, "This Land Is Your Land." But anyway, so after this album and their first two hits in '66, in I think it was June of '67, they played the Monterey Pop Festival, and they were actually the first band to lead off the festival. So that was quite an honor for them. And around that same time, their third hit, "Windy," started to move up the charts. And that actually hit number one, I believe, in July of '67, right after the festival in June. And then they followed that up with "Never My Love." "Never My Love" hit number two, I believe, on the charts. And so in 1968, they had their final top 10 song, and it's one I think people forget about. It's actually a song I love, one of my favorites by the association. It reached number 10, so it did get into the top 10, just snuck in there. And it's a song called "Everything That Touches You." And you may not know the song by the title, but when you hear it, you'll probably, if you're as old as I am, you'll probably remember the song and say, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that one." You knew the other four, but you forgot about number 5, "Everything That Touches You." So why don't we take a listen to some of their music, and I'll see you on the other side.
Captain hiding, they're climbing up the ladder, run by run. Enter the young, now they've learned to think. Enter the young, more than you think they think. Not only learn to think, but to care. Not only learn to think, but to dare. Enter the young. Someone calls on me, and every now and then I spend my time at climbing verse and curse those faults in me. And then along comes Mary, and does she wanna give me kicks? Steady my steady chick and give me pickles memory. Never knew that you could feel this way till now. After all the time we spent together, just doesn't seem fair at all. No fair at all. La 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 la. See where you're going, if you're sure that that is what you want to know. Now that you think that the end is worth knowing, back to the start is where you want to go. Baby, now I want to get from behind. summertime, a warm fireplace in the fall. That's where I'm going, and I want you to be by my side. That's all. That's all. Many years a place that I have run a ragged race, and I have lost, but I won also.
Ask me if there'll come a time when I grow tired of you. Never my love, never my love. You wonder if this heart of mine will lose its desire for you. Never my love, never my love.
Down the street the dogs are barking, and the day it's getting dark. As the night comes in a falling, the dogs will lose their bark, and the silent night will shatter from the sounds inside my mind. And I'm one too many mornings and 1,000 miles behind. And from the crossroads of my doorstep, my eyes, they start to
Unseen vision, silent sound. When up on the mountain, look out across the land. I heard the singing like I never have heard the singing. I saw the shining like I never have seen the shining. Silent song, Riverland. Cherish is a word I use to describe all the feeling that I have hiding here for you inside. You don't know how many times I've wished that I had told you. You don't know how many times I've wished that I could hold you. You don't know how many times I've wished that I could mold you into someone who could cherish me as much as I cherish you. Perish is a word that more than applies to the hope in my heart each time I realize. was the color of his blood flowing thin. Pallid white was the color of his lifeless skin. Blue was the color of the morning sky. He saw looking up from the ground where he died. It was the last thing ever seen by him.
So that's it. Again, the Association. They had 5 top 10 hits, but there's so many other great songs. And, a lot of people will sort of dismiss it and say, okay, all I need is the greatest hits. And for a lot of people, that's probably true. But you're missing so many other good songs. So I would encourage people to start to explore the Association. So as I say in all my videos, stay well, friends, and remember, if the music strikes a chord, let it play.